Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to continue the Fate of Five Generals campaign. In Game 16, the 100 Kingdoms and the Nords go to war. Welcome back to another installment of the Fate of Five Generals campaign. If you're new or if you've missed any of our previous videos, the playlist linked in this video will take you to a complete list of our campaign series. Before we begin, we wanted to say thank you once more to those of you who have used our Parabellum affiliate code to gain a discount and to help support the channel. If you haven't yet made use of this code, then the next time you check out on Parabellum's website, click on the text that says, "Do you have a discount voucher?" at checkout. Enter Maelstrom 10 in the field that appears for 10% off of your order. Doing so helps support the channel at no cost to you and also gives you a discount on your Army's reinforcements. Today we're beginning our 1800 point games with the two human factions duking it out in their second game. The Nords defeated the 100 Kingdoms in the green villages of Carvina. Will the 100 Kingdoms be able to return the favor here in the north? The 100 Kingdoms versus the Nords is next. Here will be the table for the game today. We are switching up our mission. We're still doing a race to 12 and still playing with 3 objectives, secondary objectives. But now we have our objective markers spread out to the centers of the 4 quarters of the table. Each player will have a side to come on from. The objectives on their side are worth 1 point to them, no matter how many they're holding. So whether they're holding 1 or 2, they will score 1 point for holding on their side. However, the objectives on the opposing side of the table are worth 2 points each. So a player could, in theory, score a maximum of 5 points per turn on objectives. So for our terrain, these buildings are as before: garrison 3 stands and our defense +1. Here, garrison 4 stands, defense +1. The mead hall will hold 6 stands and is defense +1. These are as before. They're dangerous and hindering. And then for these central columns here, the columns are impassable, but if you cross the base, it is hindering. And then the columns are also obscuring if you volley through them. So that is the table. The Nords will be on the opposite side. The 100 Kingdoms will be coming from here.
So for my 1800 point list, my warlord will be a Theist priest with 3 levels of magic retinue and holy fire. His warband will consist of a single regiment of militia with 8 stands with a leader, a servite, and a standard bearer. Then for the next warband, I will have a noble lord. He will have 2 levels of tactical and 1 level of combat retinue. His mastery is disorienting strikes, and he is carrying the regalia of the Empire. And for a draw event, he has Bastion. He will be running with a regiment of household guard that is 5 stands strong, with an arms master, a leader, and a standard bearer. And rounding out his war band will be a regiment of 3 household knights with a leader and a standard bearer. My next war band will be a chapter mage with 3 levels of magic retinue, fire dart, Nineveh's tears, and learned in the occult. And she will be leading a regiment of men-at-arms with 3 stands with a leader, a seasoned veteran, and a standard bearer. And finally, I have an Imperial officer with Fire in Advance, the Kiss Farewell, trained in trigonometry, and 3 levels of tactical retinue, leading a group of 4 mercenary crossbows with a leader and a standard bearer.
For my 1800 point Nord list, I have a Jarl with Aspect of the Dragon, Tier 3 Tactical Retinue, and Raven Messengers. 1 Huskarl unit at 4 stands with a Thane and a Standard Bearer. Another Huskarl unit with 4 stands with a Thane and a Standard Bearer. 3 stands of Ogre with a Standard Bearer. A Shaman with Mistcaller's Raiment, Fruit of the Golden Tree, and Reshaped Destiny, and Learning in the Occult. 5 stands of Raiders with a Standard Bearer. A Blooded with Aspect of the Wolf, a Golden Torque, and the Hunt's Instinct. 3 stands of Trolls with a Standard Bearer. and 3 stands of bow chosen with a leader.
So first for reinforcements, we have the 100 Kingdoms. They're going to auto bring on the crossbows with the Imperial Officer, and then the Militia and the Theist Priest will be the first roll. So they will not show up for turn 1. The Nords also have 1 light to roll for. The Bow Chosen, their Blooded has the Golden Torque, so she is going to keep her Bow Chosen off the table with an auto fail. 1 unit will roll though, the Shaman and the Raiders. And they are here. All right, for initiative on turn 1, there is no advantage. Each deck has 2 cards. The 100 Kingdoms will be on white. The Nords will be on red. All right, that's a reroll. The 100 Kingdoms, we'll take it. At the end of turn 1, the Mercenary Crossbowmen have moved on here with their Imperial Officer, and the Raiders and the Shaman have moved on here. So that will be 1 point here, correct? Because he is a medium. So that will be 1-0 in favor of the 100 Kingdoms as we get underway. 100 Kingdoms first, they have 1 light and 3 mediums. The light unit still decides to hang out. And 1 medium will show up. For the Nords, you said your Bow Chosen were going to auto-fill you in, correct?
Yes.
You had 1 flanking medium unit. You said they were or were not showing up?
They are showing
They're
up.
showing up, and then you had 2 more, or 3 more. So 3 medium units for the Nords. 1 of those will arrive. For turn 2, initiative, I'm assuming the 100 Kingdoms after the reinforcement rolls most likely have an advantage here, correct?
Yes.
All right. The Nords, we'll take it. Turn 2 is finished. The Household Knights joined the battle down here to hold this objective. The Imperial Officer and his men continue to move forward. They were able to fire the Kiss Farewell this turn at the Huskarls, but it did miss with all 3 shots. The Huskarls and the Jarl came on there, and the Trolls are marching up the field on this side. So it's currently 2-1 in favor of the 100 Kingdoms. Turn 3 is next. Reinforcements for the 100 Kingdoms. The Theist Priest and his militia will arrive automatically. 2 more medium units on 3s. 2 will arrive. The Nords have 2 medium units. The Bow Chosen will be arriving automatically with the Blooded this turn. Both mediums will arrive. Turn 3 initiative. 9 cards per player. No advantage. It will go to the 100 Kingdoms. The first activation of the turn is the Household Knights. They have charged into the meat hall and are going to try to root some of the Raiders out of the inside here. So impact attacks.
3.
3. So that will knock down 3 Raiders, and then they have resolve.
I have a resolve of 3. So 2 more.
So 2. And next up will be the regular attacks for the Household Knights. 3's correct.
3s. 1 reroll for the leader.
Yep.
7.
7 hits. The meat hall has provided liquid courage, defense 2 for the garrison buff.
I'll say 2.
Yep. So 4 total, and then resolve.
So yeah, still got the 3.
Yep. So 2 more.
So 5.
So 5 altogether. 10 altogether have gone down. Next activation falls to the Bow Chosen, who have come on down here. They are going to be lobbing their first volley of arrows here against the Mercenary Crossbows.
Well, that's 3.
3 are laid low. So 2 saves and 3 are laid low. 5. The Huskarls were the next activation for the Nords. They have marched onto the table down here. Next up for the 100 Kingdoms is going to be the Theist Priest casting Holy Fire into the structure. He is going to be down 1 die because of wizard interference from the Shaman, or priest interference in this case. And he's going to be casting Holy Fire at the Raiders.
2, 3. We turn 1 into a success. So 2, 4, 6, 8 hits.
All right. Yep, defense 2.
Didn't matter. So 6 and then so 6 and 5. So 11.
So we did make one mistake here. We were thinking 6 Stanza Raiders plus the Shaman because that's what was there before. But that shot from Holy Fire was enough to do 22 total casualties, which was enough to wipe the Shaman and his men out. One thing we did forget there, H, which we'll need to roll, your Shaman would go down fighting because he died before he activated. So we will need to roll his attacks. But we'll do that in just a second. Over here, these guys have reformed and are firing. They're using fire in advance to shoot into the Huskarls. Gonna be
leader.
Yep, leader. So 2 there.
And then the officer.
And the kiss farewell from the officer.
1 there.
1 there.
So they have bashing up. So
Yep.
That's 4 now, back down to 3. So 2 goes
So
down.
2 will fall. The attacks from the Shaman, not Jarl, the Shaman bonking his stick against the Knights.
Clash 2. Got 1.
Scores 1 hit. The Knights are good. The Huskarls here were the next activation. They marched forward to stay just in range of the objective and position to fight further on in the game. The Uger marched on down here with the men-at-arms counter marching into their flank. And then the Trolls have marched and charged to get into combat here against the Household Knights. The next up is going to be the Chapter Mage here. She's going to be throwing Fire Dart at the Uger.
2, and she'll convert 1, so 3.
So 3 cleave, 2, correct?
Yes.
All right. And then 3 resolve. And 2 on resolve. The turn finishes up with most of the character cards drawing to add bonuses that are not going to mean anything. And the Household Guard marched onto the table here to join the fight against the Trolls in the coming turns. So we did have 1 Uger fall down here to Fire Dart. Objective-wise, the 100 Kingdoms are holding 1 or more of their objectives. The Nords are doing the same, so they're going to score 1-1 on objectives. The 100 Kingdoms have also scored Defy Witchery for bringing down the Shaman this turn. So it is going to be 4-2 in favor of the 100 Kingdoms as turn 4 gets underway. Turn 4 initiative roll. This time the Nords will have advantage. And the Nords will take it. First activation will be the Trolls. They are not going to inspire. Something is up Hanzer's sleeve once more, I have a feeling. And he is going to swing his 9 attacks against the Household Knights.
It's like 3.
3 hits.
2.
Cleave 2. So 1. And 2. All right, Hanzer, tell us what your dastardly plan is. What are we doing with this next activation?
My plan is to withdraw.
All right, so resolve, massive 2, because they're just out of range of the Jarl. No, they do fail, so they're going to be taking a significant number of hits. How many hits they're going to take, H? You got 2,
so it's D6 wounds for each of its stands in contact with an enemy regiment.
Yep.
So it's looking like
2d6. Yep.
Well, if ever there was a unit that could survive 2d6 wounds coming in on it.
That was the reason I considered it heavily.
Oh,
Okay.
that's some Hanzer luck. It has been H'd up once more. So 12 resolve checks, unfortunately. 20.
That's 20 altogether.
So 2 Trolls remain, right?
Yep.
First activation for the 100 Kingdoms is the Men-at-Arms. They are flank charging the Uger and launching their attack.
Leader. Alright.
This is why you take Militia instead of Men-at-Arms, right?
3 from the Men-at-Arms, and then the 2 from the... Nothing. 3!
1, 2 failed. So, turn around. Failed anyways.
The Uger is responding. He is inspiring and clashing against the Men-at-Arms. 1 hit. No leader there, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So 1 hit at Cleave 2. 1 will go down.
Got
2
2.
will go down. Next activation is the Chapter Mage. She's going to be casting Fire Dart into the Uger.
Should convert 1 to a
3.
success.
That's
of
good enough.
4.
That'll get him. Next activation for the 100 Kingdoms was the Horsemen. They were unable to reform where they were wedged against the building, so they did spend the turn repositioning and getting ready to launch a charge in future turns. Down here, the Huskarls have moved forward around the corner of the building and are attempting a charge. H needs a 5 or higher. 4 won't do it, but they do have a banner. No. Next up are going to be the Household Guard. They have moved forward. They are attempting a charge against the Huskarls. Needing a 2. Don't H it up. You made it, barely. So they're going to be charging into these Huskarls. After several character activations, Jarl activated, issued a challenge. The Noble Lord refused and then rallied his men, told him, I didn't really quit. He didn't really want to fight. Down here, the Noble Lord is going to, or the Imperial Officer rather, is going to be using arcing fire on his men. They're going to be firing into the Bow Chosen, who have moved back in this direction.
Nothing there.
All right, so 3 from the crossbows, correct?
Yes.
3 wounds.
Yep, that's right. I forgot. They are defense 1, aren't they? With that, the turn winds down. The 100 Kingdoms are still going to be holding their 2 objectives. So they're going to score 1 point for that. Nothing is being held on this end. So that will be 5-2 in favor of the 100 Kingdoms. Turn 5 is coming up next. Turn 5 initiative advantage will remain with the Nords. And the 100 Kingdoms will have it. First activation is the Imperial Officer. He is using fire in advance, and the crossbows are going to take aim and fire on the Raiders, or rather, Huskarls that are coming down on them. Yuck. You got a leader, right?
3.
3.
And then 3 from the officer.
1 there. So 4 at armor piercing 1.
Need 2s. Got 2.
So 2 will fall. Huskarls are the first activation for the Nords. They're going to be activating this squad and starting things off with a combat reform.
I got it.
Good to go. Next up are the attacks for this combat. The Huskarls need 3s and the Jarl needs 4s.
10.
10 hits. Defense 3 for their opponents. Yuck. 7 go down and then resolve.
2 rerolls.
2 tacticals. Well, you got 1 of them back at least. So that'll be
10 total.
10 altogether. Impact attacks for the Huskarls as they charge into combat.
None.
No hits, but they are locked up down here now. They did do a move and charge. So that was all of their attacks for the turn. Next up is going to be Fire Dart from the Chapter Mage. She's firing into the Trolls.
She'll convert for 4 hits.
All right, and that will get the Trolls. Next up for the 100 Kingdoms is going to be the Household Guard. The Jarl did attempt a duel. The Noble Lord luckily had 2 men stick around, so he was able to refuse once more. They are going to Inspire and Clash. Hey, the leader actually did something.
7.
7. That's a cleave 1, but the Huskarls do have Bastion up at the moment.
Defense 3.
So 4 will go down. And
1 more.
which you do have tactical retinue, right?
Yes. Didn't matter.
Just kidding, still gonna go down.
And then the Lord's got his 5. 3.
So 3 more hits from the Noble Lord. No cleave on this one. Good to go. Final activation for the Nords is going to be the Blooded, bringing the Bow Chosen with fire in advance. They've moved once and are firing through the gap here into the Noble Lord's regiment. And you have a leader, correct?
Oh, yeah.
No help there. So 1 save. He's good, and 3 will go down. Finishing out activations with the 100 Kingdoms, the Horsemen have moved in this direction to support. The Theist Priest has moved backwards to protect this objective with the Militia. And I think that was it, right? That finished out the turn. So, this objective is contested. 3 stands to 3 stands are knocking each other off there. This objective is still out of reach of the 100 Kingdoms for the moment. And then 1 objective each is held in the home ground. So, that will make it 6-3, still in favor of the 100 Kingdoms. Turn 6 is next. Turn 6 initiative. The Nords will retain advantage. And it will go to the 100 Kingdoms. The first activation for the Men-at-Arms, or for the 100 Kingdoms, was the Men-at-Arms. They've moved up here to claim this objective. Huskarls are up next. They are clashing, not inspiring. Yep, and he needs 4s, correct?
Yeah.
Clean sweep for him.
So it's looking like 12?
Leader or no?
No leader.
All right, so 12 hits. Wow, so 2 go down. And good. Or yeah, 1 more there.
Tactical reroll.
Oh, yep.
He's good.
All right. Next up is going to be the Chapter Mage. She's going to cast Fire Dart into the Huskarl.
6.
So 6 hits at 2, so they will be defense 1 since they have Bastion up.
I don't want.
So 6 will go down so far, and then resolve. Wow.
So that is 9.
9 total. The Huskarls are the next activation for the Nords. They're going to be clashing, no inspire.
3. Yep.
So 3 hits.
Got 2. 3, 4. Actually,
Tactical.
rerolls. 3.
Next up is going to be the Household Guard. They're going to be inspiring or no?
Yes. 1 reroll. So 5 hits from the Household Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 from the Lord.
All right, so 5 at cleave 1. Took 1 down, correct?
2, because they have cleave 1.
Oh, but you have Bastion up though, right? Because you already activated.
Yeah, so they're at 4, so that drops them down to 3.
Yep. So that's just 1, right? Or am I, oh, I see it now. Oh, sorry, on camera that 4 looks like a 1. So yeah,
That's
2.
enough.
Alrighty, so that will shatter them. Before he goes, the Jarl is going to die fighting as he had not activated yet this turn. And score 6 hits. Or had they Bastioned?
They had not.
Okay, never mind.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There's 4 down so far. Resolve 3.
With
2 rerolls.
That'll get 'em.
Mutually assured destruction. The Blooded used the bow chosen with fire in advance here, but was unable to get shots at the Household Knights. So they chose not to volley since that potentially would clear a fire lane here. Household Knights went with no charge room. They went ahead and just maneuvered to stay behind the building and stay safe. Theus Priest and the Militia were dead activations. They're camping down here on their objective. So next up is going to be the Crossbows. They're going to inspire in class.
So 4 from the crossbows. And 1 from the officer.
All right, and is he any kind of clash or any cleave or anything?
No.
All right, so 5 hits. Good grief.
2
Dude,
saved.
your dice have been terrible this entire game.
3 morale. So 4.
As the turn comes to a close, the Huskarls once again unable to grab an objective here. That is going to give 1 point to the Nords here, 2 to the 100 Kingdoms here, and 1 to the 100 Kingdoms here. Both sides also scored a secondary objective that turn, so that will put the overall score at 10-5 in favor of the 100 Kingdoms. Turn 7 is next. Turn 7 initiative. The Nords will have advantage. And it will go to the Nords. The Blooded has 1 activation. She marched here, fire in advance, and they're going to volley before doing their second one. They have 2 stands in range.
2 that were.
2 dead.
And
You got a leader, correct?
3.
So 3 armor saves, 2 dead.
4 total.
4 altogether. All right, next activation is going to be the 100 Kingdoms. It is going to be the Mercenary Crossbows there.
So
4 so far. And then for the Lord, or the Officer.
1.
1 or 2, because you're inspired. That should be a hit, right? Pretty sure he's class 2.
That's correct. 2.
All right, so 2 extra hits. So 6 hits altogether.
And I not bastioned, so
2.
2 down. And 2 more.
Good grief. Next up will be the Huskarls.
1.
So 1 hit there. We'll bring 1 down. Good to go on the second. All right, the Household Knights have moved in this direction to help score on this objective. As the turn rolls to an end, that will push the 100 Kingdoms to 12 since they hold this objective. So that will be a victory for them in a bloody contest. Unfortunately for the Nords, no luck with those Huskarls whatsoever in the middle of the table. And the 100 Kingdoms have taken the village for the day. The phrase "don't H it up" continues to take on new meaning as Hanzer's terrible luck shows no signs of abating. Those poor trolls just disappeared under that ridiculously bad withdrawal roll. Hanzer had plans to get them back in the fight once they had healed, but he thought Fire Dart only had a range of 12 inches. This miscalculation left him in range of magic, and when they fell, the rest of the flank disintegrated soon after. If you liked what you saw, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Click the bell to get notifications whenever new content arrives. Also, feel free to join our continually growing community in the comments section as we discuss the outcomes of each game. In addition, if you're of a mind to support the channel, then Patreon is a solid option. For just a few dollars each month, you can help increase the quantity and quality of new content here on the Maelstrom. This support frees us to work on more videos and to continue upgrading our technology for a more professional setup. To our existing patrons, we offer a humble thank you. We couldn't do the things we do without the support that we receive. That's everything for this week, but Game 17 is coming soon. Stay tuned for our next outing as the 1800 point action continues.